Brothers and sisters, this is Jerry. Kevin. Say this one more time. Kevin.
I'm Leo. Welcome.
We just want to welcome you to another episode of, well, we don't even have a name yet, so we're going to debate that today, Kevin. So,
Well, I wanted to do Jerry and Kevin Day.
Yeah,
or
but
maybe
they don't
Jerry and
really
Kevin
dig
get
that.
you a job if you're a
Yeah.
veteran.
Yeah.
But we'll come up with a show name soon.
Yeah. So before we get started, I want to do a couple shout-outs. One, my son, Petty Officer Robert Currier, stationed in Germany. My other son, Corporal Ryan Currier at Fort Hood, Texas. Any shout-outs you guys want to do?
Whitetown.
Whitetown?
Yuma, Arizona.
There we go.
Everybody, the great people that work over there. There you go.
Shout out to Southside Tucson.
Southside.
Southside.
That's it.
Southside in the house.
Well done.
But before we get started, I want to do a couple thank yous. One to the Warrior Healing Center. If you're interested, come on down. They have over 54 organizations down here. We're located at 1838 Paseo San Luis. And, like I said, have any questions, come on down and we'll see. Just check it out. Kevin will give you a free tour, maybe margaritas, whatever you want to do. Just come on down. But so we kind of went over a little overview of what we do, who we are, and that sort of stuff last week. But this week we want to get a little bit more in depth what the DVOPS program does. So we've invited some individuals from throughout Southern Arizona and up in the Yuma area as well. So we just want you guys to come on down, tell us a little bit of what you do, and that sort of stuff. So if you want, we'll just go ahead and kick it off, Leo.
All right. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Kevin, for having me here today. My name is Leo Verdugo. I'm one of 3 veteran coordinators in the state of Arizona. Basically, my duties, roles, and responsibilities, I'm actually stationed in Tucson, is to oversee the Jobs for Veterans State Grant, which is a federal grant through the Department of Labor to assist our local veterans to get back into the workforce. With that, I oversee offices as far as Yuma, Arizona, South Tucson, all of Tucson, and down here in Sierra Vista. And again, I piggyback off Jerry and Kevin. They also go out to Safford, Douglas, and Southeast Arizona. So basically what we do is to make sure we're in compliance, that our veterans needing work-related services or job referrals, resume review, interviewing techniques, that kind of stuff, is to make sure that our veterans are being taken care of in Southern Arizona. That's our main focus. That's our main goal. There's actually legislation and put in by Department of Labor that we have to take care of our veterans. That's what I do. I have 2 co-workers, one in the Yuma area, Lorena Garcia. She oversees all along the Colorado River up to Flagstaff and around through Sholo. So she covers those offices, again, doing the same thing that I do, make sure we're in compliance with making sure our veterans are taken care of. Our third partner is Steve Barath. He's actually in the Phoenix metro area. So he has a very large area to cover there. As you know, it's different than out here in the rural area in Arizona. So
Exactly.
we all focus on the same duties, responsibilities. Again, we want to take care of our local veterans with any kind of resources that they might need, but our main focus is employment services. With that being said, I'll turn it over, if you don't mind, Jerry, to Javier and Mark, and they could talk a little bit about what they bring to the table. I'm sorry, Walter as well.
Let Walter go.
The 3 DVOPS and what they do. So,
Oh, yeah, we forgot about Walter. Sorry.
Walter, that's all right. That's okay. I'm used to being forgotten about. Yeah.
We got any Kleenexes over there, Kevin?
Yeah, I forgot to go back.
Like I said, my name is I'm Walt Flemings. I'm the DVOP or Veterans Representative at the Keno Veteran Center there in Tucson, Arizona. The building, of course, is right next to the Keno One Stop, one of the 2 One Stops in Pima County, which we're required to have. And as it relates to the duties, I wanted to add on to what Leo says. We are also make sure that our veterans have all the necessary supportive services that they need. The state of Arizona has 2 grants for the entire state, something called HVRP, and that's a homeless veteran reintegration program. So at the Keno Center, at the Keno Vet Center where I am, we make sure we provide services for all of our homeless vets in Southern Arizona also. So that's something that I'd like for you to keep in mind and share with friends or relatives or anyone else. It is absolutely critical to us and all of our management and leadership team to make sure our veterans, are taken care of as it relates to their homelessness. So that's a really big part. We do have additional services available throughout the different organizations, and I'll let my counterparts talk to you more about what those are all about. I don't want to steal their thunder, but it's absolutely critical that no veteran can have any issue or question that they can't bring to us and we can help them with. And if it at your discretion, if you just want to come in and talk to another veteran about what's going on, we are here for you. Anytime you need us, we're here for you. Day or night, there's always going to be some phone number or some way to get a contact with us so you can sit down. We, as Leo frequently says, one team, one fight, and we're here for you.
Yeah.
All right? Jerry?
All right. So, veteran issues, very complex. And like I was telling Leo earlier, I was super excited you were coming up, Javier, because you have a special project. You work with our Native brothers and sisters.
Correct.
And I know there's some complexities involved in that. And you are just here recently. You're going to be starting a podcast
Yes,
for that?
I'll be doing one with NAVA, the Native American Veterans Association, and we're going to be focusing on issues that pertain to Native American veterans and kind of explain about the services that we offer. And again, we want to be very respectful of the traditions and parameters set forth by each nation in each reservation. So that's why we always are there for them. We have a great initiative in Tucson. We work in conjunction with the Tucson Indian Center, which is in downtown Tucson, and we provide them resume services, career advice. We do a lot of stand downs as well. So for us is to get the word out, to let our Native American veterans know that we're there to support them, give them the information they need, assist them in any way we can.
And just recently, I know we were in a meeting, which I thought was kind of cool. They just passed in the state of Arizona the Code Talker thing.
Correct.
Yes, they did. Absolutely.
Correct. And we shared that. Interestingly enough, Leo passed it to me, and I sent it to the Indian Center, and they posted it up. And that's a really big, momentous event,
Right.
to be recognized for the work that they did in World War II in turning the tide of the Pacific. And so it fills me with great pride to be associated, working with our Native American veterans, and to see them recognized this way.
I think it's one of those that should have been done a long time ago, but it's nice that they're doing that.
Correct.
Because the contributions that they made, World War II, even World War I, and through their inception, I mean, it's just phenomenal what they've done, the work they've done.
Yeah, the sacrifices they did, and the pride. That's the stuff that it's actually very moving as a veteran to go to one of the reservations or nations and look at the memorials they have and the pride that they take in serving this nation. It's breathtaking.
It's amazing. It really is. But, thanks. I mean, because, like I said, I was super excited you came down because I wanted you to be able to share that because I think it's, kind of interesting the work that you do because you've talked to us about it in the past. It's a little bit different, working with than say a regular veteran just fresh off the street because they have a lot more, the from a cultural standpoint, stuff like that.
Absolutely. Is in fact myself and my counterpart Adam Gerard last year we collaborated with the Department of Labor to create a component for the NVTI training for new Devops on how to work with Native American veterans. It was pretty detailed on how we presented it and how, as a Devop, sitting down and working with an individual tribal member.
Interesting.
Because there are little nuances. And the whole thing is, well, just show up on the reservation or at the nation and talk to them. It doesn't work that way. Okay, there's a lot of issues you have to go through with a lot of respect and well earned.
Yeah, just a little to add on something to that, Jerry, I just want to add that what Javier is referring to, it's MBTI, which is the National Veterans Training Institute. It's an institute that we go as employees, state employees or grantees for the JVSG, which is the Jobs for Veterans State Grant Program. Arizona is leading the nation with that. So I definitely want to thank Javier and Adam Gerard here. For those of us that don't know, is they were actually handpicked by the Institute. Say, hey, we want to reach out Arizona because they heard a lot of great things that Javier is doing with the nations and the tribes in southern part of Arizona, and what Adam Gerard does in the northern part of Arizona. So they physically came out and said, hey, give us your input. So basically what they talked about, they put a curriculum together that's going to be taught nationally at this course, and again by our peers. You know, what better, you know, these guys on the front line, they give them advice as, you know, customs and traditions, the do's and don'ts, you know, from the simple thing is not getting too close to them when you speak, not to point, not to touch any artifacts or take photos while you're on their properties, you know, and stuff like that. So a lot of that stuff they brought to the table. So Arizona is a front runner right now in helping our Native American veterans. You know, they have a huge tradition, you know, because these veterans, this type of veteran is identified by the Department of Labor as a significant barrier to employment, you know, because they go to back to their tribes, back to their nations. And with that, when they do go back, they're seen as, per se, heroes because they made that sacrifice to protect not just their homeland, but America itself. So that says a lot. So thank you, Javier and Adam, for that. You guys don't know. So,
what you guys are doing, it's phenomenal, Javier. It really is. You know, and I can only imagine, you know, being a veteran itself, there are some complexities. You know, it's not easy transitioning out of the military and all that other fun stuff. But to transition to go back home, I mean, that's got to be, you know, tenfold of the, you know, the issues that they're, because they don't have a lot of resources available to them that, like, say, we do on the reservation.
Right.
And in some cases, don't they have to travel to get to, say, clinics?
And that's a big issue nationally, you know, for all, you know, a lot of, you know, both Hispanic veterans and Native American veterans live in the rural.
Right.
So oftentimes they are missing on those critical assistances and resources. So they get lost in the shuffle. Now, you take a Native American veteran who traditionally will go back to their nation or reservation, okay? For them to try to get to the VA, it's huge. It's a long, it's hours away. And it's also, you know, we're talking about also a sense of pride. You know, so there's a lot of little complexity. So what we try to do is to minimize that, be that resource for them, be there when they need us. That's the key thing. We get a call, Leo and I work, you get a call, we'll be right over. We're going to call sometimes, hey, are you going to come to our stand down? When is it? It's Saturday and it's Thursday. We're there. Cancel everything, we'll be there. Because it's an honor.
Right.
That's the way I look at it. Anytime I get an invitation, it's an honor to represent Arizona, the state of Arizona, and what we do on the tribal reservation.
And I know COVID hasn't helped matters at all. I know in the early part of the COVID, we'd be sitting in DVOPS meetings and just listening to what you were saying, what Adam was saying. It's like, oh my goodness. I mean, they got hit hard.
They did.
And, you know, it's just unbelievable. It really is.
Yeah.
You know, again, thanks. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, kind of saved the best for last. This guy, I don't even know how to introduce him. I mean, it's just so, we've been working with him all week. And
people recognize just.
Oh, it's Marky Mark.
Marky Mark. It's Marky Mark.
And where the funky bone.
Yes, Jerry, you know, thank you. The Army Band welcoming you here was a little over the top.
I apologize. I didn't mean to go that extreme with the band.
But there was Walter, the one-man band.
But you know, it's exciting being here to learn what we do. I'm a new kid on the block. I'm new to the DVOPS position. I want to piggyback off of Walt and Javier. Saturday is my wife and I's 11th anniversary.
Nice.
And by saying that, what Walt was saying, we're always available. We'll always be there, and you need that family support at home to understand you're out there for the greater good, because there are a lot of hours away from home, and when you get a chance to get home, you go home to your family, and that's who your support group is. We have 2 nations in Yuma, and I'll be with Javier next week, so I'm anxious to see how he does things, how he makes those connections, so I can get out there and speak to our warrior brothers and sisters, because they're all warriors.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And it's interesting, you mentioned the cultural differences. There are differences, and we need to be aware of those. And it is an honor when they invite you, because that doesn't happen often, especially outside of the nation.
Right.
When you're invited into, that's something.
Yeah.
So, and I want to get there. So I'm anxious to see how you do things there.
Wonderful. That'd be fun. I think
Well,
you'll
it's-
enjoy it.
One of the things I wanted to mention that I forgot to is that we don't want to forget about, as you can see by the individuals sitting in this room today, we represent all the different branches, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, and the Army. Me, myself, one of my special projects is something that might be of interest to you, as that they already know that I specialize also in working with all the different military forces in the reserves and National Guard. So what I am doing, I'm in the process of collaborating and connecting all of our National Guards from Yuma all the way to Safford or wherever the case may be. So we don't want you to forget that just because you're a National Guard or reservist, you have lots of different benefits and there's essential resources that are available to you. So feel free to come in and talk to any of the DVOPS in any of these different locations. That's absolutely critical. You're a part of the team, you're a part of this country, and you're a part of this nation. So you need to know more and more changes are coming back, more and more information is coming out about what your benefits are like, what's available to you, and also your family. We don't want you to forget about what's going on. There are resources available. A prime example, if you're a veteran that's 100% disabled and there's someone that's taking care of you, that person is entitled to monetary compensation. These are simple things that some people don't even know about. You need to contact us so we can start doing things to help you and support that. So,
Awesome. Well, you brought up a good point. I'm glad you brought up Guard and Reserve. So, like you said, you look at the group here. You have Air Force, Navy, Marines, Army. But Mark and I have had this discussion. Both of us are part of Guard Reserve as well.
mhm.
And what's interesting with the Guard Reserve gets left behind in a lot of ways because they don't understand what it. When you're on active duty, you go to work every day, you do what you got to do.
Mhm.
But in the Guard and Reserve, it was like we were saying yesterday, oh man, it's through a weekend, or you get mobilized and then you go do your job, you come home, now you're out of uniform. Now you're back in your civilian job. So I'm glad there's been a big push lately in the last few years to recognize the sacrifices that the Guard and Reserve make
Mhm.
for, to the, the greater good of the defense of our country. Yeah, it was, how many mobilizations have you done, Mark?
2.
Yeah, I've done my 2. It was just really weird. You 08, 09 deploy, come home for a few months, and mobilized again.
And then, they're worried about, are they going to have a job when they get
Yeah,
here?
exactly. How many? I know Patrick was talking about this. You guys were talking about this the other day. The unemployment rate between what was it, 04 to 09-ish of Guard and Reserves.
Right.
During the recession, the issues facing them during the recession. But anywho, it's just really nice having you guys down here. And so Kevin and I guess our thought process in this, we want our veteran community to understand what we have available in the Southern Arizona region, Yuma region, in a rural, like up in the Yuma area, a huge veteran population. You have 2 military installations
Yes,
up
sir.
there. And down here we have Davis Mont, and we have Fort Huachuca, Reserve Guard units all over the place.
Mhm.
So we want to kind of make veterans aware of what they have available in their areas. A lot of times we may have to travel to Tucson, but it's kind of what we have where they, if they have a question, who to contact, that sort of stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, it's kind of.
Something I wanted to mention, and this gets lost in the shuffle too. We have a lot of young veterans who cycle out and start going to school.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and for some reason, people don't consider them as a veteran in need because they're in school. Right?
Exactly.
But I work at the U of A. Okay, I go there and I do my outreaches there, and we have a lot of veterans who are struggling. Okay, the pressure. They're going to school. They're not getting the guidance because they're a little older student. So the guidance, the career counselors don't get to see them. They're trying to pick up a part-time job, or they need an internship, or they don't have the clothes for the internship that they just got. So this is where we can step in. We do a lot of career counseling for these And these don't have to be young. They could be guys who are getting out in their 40s and now trying to get their education.
Exactly.
But no one's
Civilian
giving
job.
them that career guidance. Like, okay, if you're studying this and you're getting you're going for VR&E Chapter 31, then you better make sure that they approve you to the next levels, because that first degree is not going to get you to the end result.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of stuff that we also do as DVOPS, kind of like what Walter said, some ancillary jobs. But we can sit and talk and say, okay, let's look at your career, okay, and we can let you we'll work with Chapter 31, but when they get out, we can help them get the job. But we can help them when they get the job with their clothes, with the Veteran Toolkit. So this is something that sometimes gets lost, but we have such a high population of veterans who are students.
Well, I think it's kind of interesting. After you spend X amount of, I don't care how long you've been in the military, it is the weirdest thing to be sitting in a classroom with a bunch, even if you're in your mid-20s, they're kids.
Yep.
You know, and because I push my veterans if they have access to, you know, if they to utilize their GI Bill.
Yeah.
To me, it was a good way to transition, but it is still kind of weird.
You know, it's
to sit in
interesting.
that classroom.
And you know what's really interesting? There are, like, for example, at the U of A, there's an amazing vet center.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Guided by vets, staffed by vets, veteran tutors, all brothers and sisters helping each other.
And,
Okay.
the gentleman, Cody,
Cody Nichols,
I deployed with him in 08, 09.
he's a good man.
He's
And
amazing.
And one of the
amazing.
best resources they have there is Dr. Marks, who does a lot. He works with the VA hand in hand with PTSD issues. He's on site. So veterans will go talk to them in their moments of crisis within the vet center, the little office there. But what's really great about that is to see, and this is what you can tell, veteran students, we all walk around with a jug of water, right? Stay hydrated, right? Stay hydrated. Everyone's hydrated. And more
Coffee, water and coffee.
or, you know,
Mojo.
Red Bull,
Mojo.
Copenhagen, you know, that's it. But here's the interesting thing, their level of dedication.
Yeah.
Because these students now are so motivated, okay? They're so dedicated, you know. All they need sometimes is that guidance,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And this is where we step in as, I mean, it is community outreach for us, working with this community here, you know, because they can get lost in the shuffle too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you brought something up just to reiterate, kind of a little commercial, if you will. If you're a veteran and you are in the process of getting an offer letter or anything like that, we have what we call our Veteran Toolkit. So through no cost to you, the veteran, if you are in need of tools or a bike, you don't have reliable transportation, clothes, let us know. We have the ability to order those through for you. Again, no cost to you. Take advantage of the program. We want to spend the money on you. So if you have a question, contact your local vet center and ask about the Veteran Toolkit.
Additionally, just one more thing. It's very important that we know you may not be a veteran, but you may know a veteran. We work with veterans of all different categories. Really big one right now is Vietnam veterans, making sure that they're taken care of. So if your father, your grandfather was in the Vietnam War and they're not getting a disability check every month, then you really need to get a hold to us, because that's government money that's available. You know, definitely if they're a Vietnam veteran and went to Vietnam, they should be getting a monthly check for sure. But then if you deployed on all these different locations, there are specific categories of individuals that are entitled to some type of compensation. So we want you to know, I don't care if you were in the Vietnam War or Desert Shield, Desert Storm, or whatever the case may be, or just got back. Doesn't matter. You need to contact the DVOP, talk to someone, and just come in and ask us, hey, this is my situation. This is where I was at. This is what I did. This is what happened. Am I entitled to a VA disability claim? That doesn't hurt. You know, it's always better. Like I said, it may not necessarily be you. Could be a brother, a cousin, an uncle, a grandfather. I've had situations where people come in and talk to me and said, "Well, my grandfather was in Vietnam and this, but is he entitled to any benefits?" And I'm looking him in the eye and said, "Yes."
Yeah.
You know, so keep that in mind as you're going through your day. If you know someone, relative or friend, whether co-worker, doesn't matter. They need to come down and see one of us so we can talk to them about that aspects of it. Because during this time of recovery from the pandemic, all the funding and all the additional support you can get to help you and your family is absolutely critical.
And like we tell a lot of our clients, you know, you're that veteran, whether you deployed downrange or you just did your time in the Army, say you fell off the back of a truck one day in the motor pool, you got hurt. You know, these are life-changing events for you.
Life-changing.
They really are.
Yeah.
And what amazed me was, you know, not a lot of people know, say if you were to become 100% permanent, how that is going to affect your family, educational benefits.
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing. You know, it's
nothing's too small.
Yeah.
Nothing's too small to talk about it. More often than not, we have veterans come in and say, "Oh no, I'm feeling fine," or "I never had this happen." And I said, "Well, that was 20 years ago." You know, and it's important that people know that, you know, illnesses and injuries don't get better. You know, if you get injured or something, as you get older, the repercussions of that particular is going to come about at a later time. So start thinking about it, plan ahead, and that's one of the things we always do. We work with our veterans, and it's important that you know that it's not like we find you a job and kick you to the curb. No, we're going to be with you. We're going to work with you for as long as it takes to make sure you get stable.
No, you're absolutely right. You know, like today we had to give Javier a bib because it kind of gets a little embarrassing sometimes.
It does.
You know, kind of a little awkward moment there. He starts twitching.
Well, it's wonderful the spread you put out there. I was amazed. I heard you were giving MREs.
Well, we debated that.
That's the reason why I came, because I knew there was chow.
We had a heated debate yesterday afternoon, and Kevin, he's saying, I'm going to throw him under the bus. It was his idea for the MREs. Mark and I was like, no, these guys deserve carne asada. and Kevin's like, no,
but the
MREs.
only thing that Leo and I want to know, I'm grabbing you in this.
Here we
when
go.
did you get that Flamingo shirt?
So, all right, I'm glad you brought that up. So I'm sitting last week, we're talking about you guys coming down, and you you sailors, you try to, little flair, and I thought, well, what
jazz hands?
Yeah, jazz hands. And Kevin was like, Jerry, why don't you order a Flamingo shirt? And I'm like, well, shit, that'd probably be a good idea. That'd make his day. A little flair, jazz hands. We have a song and dance for you when you leave.
I can't wait, because I heard.
Sorry, Teresa. We told him not to use that word.
Yes, oh crap.
Well, the way you made us feel welcome. We've always known you guys were flamboyant down here.
We are.
We just never knew how. And so Leo and I could leave feeling good. Jerry's in his Flamingo shirt.
What was that little dance? You're snapping down the hallway, rumbling. You're from Warriors or whatever. Or
the what? Oh,
the West Side Story. Yeah,
You're
Kevin just every morning walking down the hallway.
Because he knows that we're from South Tucson.
Yeah. So
yeah. We used to do that with because we were at the Cochise College Downtown Center,
Sure.
and it's a nursing program. They all wear the same uniforms, and we really thought that they were a bit scary, so we just rumble.
So
you know something? If you walk down South Tucson with that shirt, snapping your fingers.
Yeah. Good to go, man.
Let me jump in real quick. One thing I do want to tell everybody. Remember last week we talked about the American Job Center? Okay, so we all work at different locations, but we work at Arizona at work. So if you're a veteran, you're looking for employment, be honest, if you're a veteran, you have questions. Find your local Arizona at work. Tell them you're a veteran. Right. Get to one of us. If there are resources you need and you don't know, we will help you find those resources, get you to a resource navigator, and matter of fact, there are resources for your family. So you come in, tell your story, and we'll go from there.
Even if you don't even know you need a resource, come and talk to us, and we'll tell you about a resource that you may not even thought about.
Yeah, right. I think one of the saddest things, and I was a victim of this, I didn't know. A lot of us who served Desert Storm got out. We didn't have all the build-up that some of the guys who got out now in the 2000s.
You're exactly right.
We were just cut out. I never knew I was a veteran. I never
Right.
knew I was a veteran. I never knew I qualified for anything. And it was just a random meeting with someone who said, "Do you have a DD 214?" Correct.
Mhm.
You were in active duty? Correct. You're considered a veteran.
Right.
And it sounds silly, but and the guys from my generation on down, no one considered. I mean, we thought veterans were people who were, Vietnam, Korea,
Gone forward.
that stuff. It wasn't. So what I tell everyone is, if you have a family member or yourself served one day in the military and you have a DD 214,
Exactly.
you have any questions, come and see us. We can help you.
One day.
One day explain where you are, what you're entitled to, and give you the directions you need to go.
No, and you're right. And was talking about this the other day. Being a Desert Storm veteran, dealing with a post 9/11 veteran is kind of interesting. It really is. For the most part, they're on top. A lot of the veterans, they're doing what they got to do, especially from, say, high tech side of the house. And I always thought, being a Gulf War vet, we're kind of stuck in the middle.
Yes.
Our dads, Vietnam, all that other fun stuff.
Hey.
But then, the Gulf War veteran, it's kind of interesting. It really is. And I was talking about my wife, that how everything has kind of changed a little bit, but it's all the same at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's interesting being able to work with all these different era veterans sometimes. It really is.
Yeah.
You guys take the cake, though, Walter. You guys are...
Well,
Don't apologize.
But that's one unique thing that you're saying, Jerry, though, is every generational veteran is a little bit different.
Mhm.
But guess what? Within our team, the DVOP team, whether it's Southern Arizona, Northern Arizona, we have different eras of those veterans within our
Exactly.
group. So
Exactly.
if I can't relate to certain things, then, hey, I'm going to refer you over to
Walter.
Walt for some reason, or to Javier or Kevin. So we always have that communication where, you know what? I really don't understand this guy. Hey, Jerry, you might want to talk to him, man. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. And so that kind of leads me. So if you are a Vietnam veteran, Vietnam era veteran, if you come down to the Warrior Healing Center, we have the Vietnam Veterans of America. You got to meet them last time you
Yes,
were
I
down
did.
here. Within minutes, I think.
yeah, within
they
minutes
weren't
of being
playing.
here.
But if you would just want to reconnect with your fellow brothers, come on down, check it out. Phenomenal organization. They really are.
Yeah.
And last but not least, our women warriors.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're a women warrior and you want to get with your sisters, we have a chapter down here in the Warrior Healing Center as well.
Mhm.
Come on down. We'll give you the business card, and hopefully be able to link up with them and stuff.
Absolutely.
Likewise in Pima County,
Yeah.
the Women Warriors program up there too.
Yeah. So that's basically it. Going to go ahead and wrap things up today. If you guys have questions, feel free. Reach out to us. If you want to come on down to Keno Vet Center, Yuma. And I apologize. What office do you work at, or you the rover?
I'm the
He's a
rover.
He's a rover, man.
I'm the rover.
But
But
you can
I-
catch him every Friday at the Keno.
I'm at Keno on Fridays. I'm also at the Tucson Vet Center every Wednesday. So if anyone in Tucson, looking to talk to me, you can always see me there.
Awesome.
I didn't mention at the Keno Vet Center. The Vet Center has all the different services available too. We also have a VA, a Veteran Affairs hospital representative in that building. We also have individuals that specialize in making sure you get the training you need. We can help you with housing. We can help you with clothing, just like you were saying. We can help you with certifications. There's just so much in that one building. So, go to a veteran center. If you're going to come to the healing center here, which is awesome, or the Tucson Center or the Keno Veteran Center, get to a veteran center because we have massive amounts of resources, and we're thankful that the government itself is investing millions of dollars into taking care of our veterans, and this is something new. Something is progressive down through the years. There's more benefits available now than there were 18 months ago.
Yep.
So just because you checked on something last year or the year before, that doesn't matter. Things change.
You brought up a good point when you were here last time, and I thought it was an interesting look how quickly the VA is changing.
Yes.
It's not
Rapidly.
the VA of a year ago or
No.
6 months ago. It
No.
is changing for the better.
Yep.
There's still a lot of work to be done.
Yep.
But it's changing.
Yep.
Because the last 20 years, we've seen an operational tempo I don't think we've ever seen before.
No.
When you look at the military,
Yep.
You know, it's not uncommon to see people with more than 2 or 3 deployments.
Yep.
You know, it's insane, but it's nice to know that the VA is understanding, recognizing, and adapting and changing to that.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, we have they do a lot of consultation now. So one of our greatest challenges right now.
Push you up, Walter?
No, okay. Yeah.
He wants to make it the Walter Show.
Yeah, the Walter.
The Atomic Dog Hour.
Atomic Dog Hour.
It's all right. Last week, Jared was blocking the Air Force jersey, so I made him move.
Well, I'm a big guy, so
That
they
wasn't
did it
right.
pretty easy. Yeah, just a tad. I'm a
Big
guy.
bone.
Yeah, a truck driver. You know, hey, you know, big bone. Yeah.
What was that? See?
I don't know.
Well, mercifully, we can move on.
Yeah, that's it. We're done today. Nah, VA.
Yeah, what we're doing right now is currently, which is a really big issue, and it is what we were talking about post 9/11. We're having more and more situations where post-traumatic stress is a big issue for both men and women. Don't want to forget both men and women.
Mm-hmm.
And so, with a lot of consultations now, they can get the necessary, counseling that they want or need. We can put them in contact with someone that's non-invasive, very, very confidential, and it's just you don't have to deal with the situations or your issues. I'm just going to say it like this: you don't have to deal with your nightmares. You don't have to deal with your stress factor on your own. There are a lot of individuals that are wanting, willing, and ready to just sit down and talk to you about what's going on. One of which I met here at the Healing Center, and that's great. So if you there are just tons of people everywhere you go. The Tucson Healing Center, the Warrior Healing Center here, the Keno Veteran Center, the VA Hospital. There are lots and lots of people. So you're not alone.
No.
You don't have to deal with this. Like I said, one team, one fight. If you have no man, no woman gets left behind, we're here for you. So you just need to reach out and let us know. You reach out and we'll reach back. We'll touch you, brother.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for this week. I want to say thank you to the Warrior Healing Center for allowing us to utilize their facility. They're phenomenal. Again, come on down to check them out at 1838 Paseo San Luis. But last but not least, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. You really are.
Thank you.
If it wasn't for this guy right here, who holds everything together.
Yeah.
But again, thank you for coming down. Appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll have you back here again soon. Maybe when we go up to Tucson, do a live event up there.
Our great leader, the Justice League. Come on. Don't go there.
Walter.
I'm not gonna.
Okay, the Veterans League.
There you go.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, Veterans League. We're not.
Veterans League. Everybody.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Sponsors.
We're not.
Yeah, I know.
Suck it in.
Suck it in.
I can only suck it so much. I'm trying, damn it.
So shine your spotlight. Contact one of us, the Veterans League.
You just have to say that, don't you?
I have to say that. I'm not going to let it go.
You know what they say about
We're,
the dumb
hey,
dog.
we are in a league of our own.
Till
Believe
next
me,
week.
we really are.
Bye.
Bye.